Welcome back, everybody, to an episode of Dan-A-Plooza. I am Dan the Man, and I am here with the amazing, very talented Pinkie Valentine. Hello, Pinkie.
Hi, Dan.
For those watching and future watching, Pinkie Valentine is a burlesque performer and EMC, also a dance instructor as well. Pinkie, you told me you have some events coming up, so let's hear those events.
Absolutely. So, in San Diego, because that's where I'm based, I'll be performing at Urban Moe's Bar and Grill. It's a drag show, and so that'll be my first time performing there. That's great. Yeah, and then next Friday, I will be in New Mexico at the New Mexico Burlesque Festival. That will be my first time ever going there and performing in New Mexico. And then I think, sorry to look on my phone, but let me just look. On the 23rd, I'll be back in San Diego performing in Ginger and Whiskey's Birds of Paradise. But I think today we're calling it, or she's calling it like Love Something, but it's at the Botanica, which is a brunch show. So yeah, and it's all tropical and cool like that. So kind of hinting at the stuff behind me. So yeah.
Alrighty. I think that those are amazing events going on right now, and I just put on these shades, and now I saw red. I don't know if you remember that Sublime song, but now I see red through these. So let us move on to the next segment. We're going to go to the honor segment. We here at Dan-A-Plooza, we like to honor guests. We're not the fancy kind of honoring. We don't have, chandeliers and glass vases and, me jumping out of a cannon animation style. So, we got to honor you the old fashioned way. So we want to honor the very beautiful. She has been wanting to do the show for Dan-A-Plooza. We do enjoy pink. Pink is such a great color for the ladies and for the dudes. And
absolutely, yeah.
And we like that it's Valentine's because, especially with it being Valentine's Day, what about the perfect Valentine? Well, I'll tell you the perfect Valentine, that's Pinkie Valentine. Oh. So and we like to know that she works very hard, and we're anxious to know more about her, but we think that she's a great lady, amazing performer. So we honor you here at Dan-A-Plooza.
Thank you so much, Dan. Oh, that's like the best honor I've ever got. Oh my
God. And so now we're going to turn the tables. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you a choice. So the control for Dan-A-Plooza goes out of my hands and into your hands. So we have three choices. So the choice is choice number one. We can get right into the questions. Choice number two, we can get right to the impressions. Or the popular choice, which is voted almost 90% of the time, we can do impression, question, what we call the mixed bag effect.
Okay, I like that one. Yeah.
We want to do the mixed bag. All right. So shall we start with impression first?
Sure. I guess I do want to just say one thing. When you were like, for the honoring thing, you're like, we don't have a chandelier or a glass vase. Literally, because my husband and I live in a one-bedroom apartment. We literally have a like 70s glass chandelier right above us, and it's so tacky. And then I have my like great grandmother's glass vase over there, and I was like, well, technically I do have those two already. I just don't have the cannon yet. So I just wanted to bring that up. So luckily your speech, and then I was able to have both of those things at the same time. So
yes. I mean, I have like a tiny micro-sized cannon, like Micro Machine cannon, but and I have a vase from Mexico, so I have one of those. So
ooh, I might want to see that. We can compare vases.
Yeah. I'll tell you a little funny story because I've been to Mexico. I swam with the dolphins because that's something everybody wants to do, right?
Yeah.
To swim. So the one lady sounded uh like the Russian from Rocky 4, who was my instructor to swim with the dolphins. And I am somebody who is not the shape of the shapey. And she, I don't know if you know what the dolphin foot push is, that is where you stand. That's when you go in the water and you spread your arms and your feet out in the water and you wait for the dolphin to put their head under your heel to push you out of the water.
I did not know that, but now I
But
do.
So because my family member didn't want to do this, I had to do this like 10 times because I had the Rockstar package. So I'm watching all the other families get out, and there's just me, doing that. And she is like, "Come on, Don, come on, do foot push." And I'm like, I literally tell her, I'm like, "I'm exhausted. I have nothing else to give. I am I am waiting for the dolphin to come and push me over to the margarita snack bar because I am just, obliterated." And I try to tell her, like, I'm like breathing, like I got nothing. And she's like, "Okay, all right." She's like, she goes, "Then go swim, yeah, out in the middle of the water. So I have to do it like one last time. And it's hard because to be buoyant in the water, you have to lay flat, like your stomach, your arms or legs. But
Right.
with a life jacket, kind of compromises because you can't lay flat
Right.
while wearing that. So the people are filming me and they're like, "He's got spaghetti legs." Because trying to hold that pose and wait for the dolphin to go under,
Oh,
so
yeah.
so they're like, "Spaghetti legs, you're doing fine." And like they would just finally tell me where I could take my foot and instead of being like this, turn it at the last minute for the dolphin to push me.
Okay. That
So,
just stresses me out. I'm just like, I'll watch a dolphin, but I don't know.
but if I show you the picture, it's like I'm doing it so seriously because I had to do it. Like it's just like, "I got this. I can do it." So, and I realized she got relocated because I think a lot of other people got exhausted. So she's
Oh.
now like in the baby nursery. Like she's no longer teaching people.
Oh my God.
I go, "That's
Just one
probably a
more
good call."
time. Oh my, yeah, right?
But yeah, she would be like, "Come on, do it one more time." And I'm like,
We have to think about those dolphins too. They're
yeah.
getting worked over and over and over, right?
Yeah,
Both of
dolphins looking at me like, "You can just lay there, Dan, for a while." I'm like, "Okay." Let's hide under this pier where she can't see us. But so
Okay.
for impressions, we had some. The last thing was somewhat fighting songs and movies. So we have The Lion King. We have We Will Rock You, Fight Club, Flash Gordon, Rocky 4, Thunderstruck, AC/DC, The Warriors, Eye of the Tiger, Karate Kid, Kung Fu Fighting, Mortal Kombat, Headstrong, and The Lion King. Is there anything that you would like to hear?
Jesus. Okay. I love the options. Being a 90s baby. Yes, I was born in 94. Yes, I'm a baby. That's why I always get told that. Let's do The Lion King because that came out
All
the
right.
year I was born. So yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
Okay. Am I saying you're doing the
Yep.
impression?
Well, I'm doing the impression.
Okay.
I just asked if the person's ready.
I was like, what
Because like
song? What are we gonna
sometimes
do?
like they wander or do this or that. So
I'm ready.
okay. Na prenya namanissima sama Vinomani Himanama Himanamana Himanamana from the day we arrive on the planet and we laughing into the sun. Well, I just can't wait to be king. Well, sire, that's what the morning report is for. The morning report. Well, it means no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. I'm surrounded by idiots.
I love that movie. That's so good. I've actually seen it on stage too, like twice. It was phenomenal. I think it was the first musical I ever saw.
I
So,
have a Scar mask that I bought at the last Comic-Con. I'll have to show you.
yeah.
But it's funny because sometimes my family's like, don't buy silly stuff. And then I go like right into the aisle and I go, this seems like stuff I should buy.
Especially as a burlesque performer, I definitely get that when I see sparkly things. I'm just like,
They
rhinestones.
had Scar, Simba, and then they had Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh.
So I chose Scar so I could go, I'm surrounded by idiots. And no joke, my first performance was The Lion King in 4th grade. I sang Hakuna Matata.
Oh, best song.
Yeah.
Best
I
songs.
beat my friends who were going through voice changes who sounded like the Chipmunks singing Metallica, Enter the Sandman.
Oh my God.
And like, Never, Never Land. And I'm like, what's the matter with you? But yeah. So I want to know, question time, how'd you come up with the name Pinkie Valentine?
So, my favorite color is pink. Obviously, I have pink nails, everything. So pink, and so my teacher at the time was like, "Well, how about Pinkie?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then they're like, "Oh, how about Pinkie Punani?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, but vagina is not going to be my last name."
No.
You're not. It's funny because like sometimes my gay friend called me this. I'm usually the token straight in the crowd.
Yeah.
Again, not to be that like a fierce ally, but I am, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna do Pinkie Punani. I don't want to do that. And so I was just trying to think like, oh, like what could I do? And so I parked after like a class at the studio that I now work at, and I'm walking up to our apartment, and I'm like, what would go good with Pinkie? And I'm like, well, what other names have like the E at the end? And so I'm like, Frankie Valley, Frankie Valentine, Pinkie Valentine. And then I went to my husband, well, who's my boyfriend at the time. I was like, babe, how about Pinkie Valentine? And he was like, I like it. And so, and also I do love the Four Seasons. So that's where I got my name. So yeah.
Funny stuff. I do have a friend named Frankie Valentine.
Hey.
Yep. And when you said Pinkie, my brain went to the 90s and it went, whatever they're insane, they're Pinkie and the brain.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I used to get that. Yeah. Or they're like, hi, Pinkie. And I'm like, wrong one.
Narf. But who was it? Because sometimes people ask me like, how did this start? And I used to do the virtual chats with celebrities. So I met the guy who he is Fry from Futurama, and he did the voice of Doug from Doug. And so basically we did a virtual show, but it took forever. So he did the impressions, and it was basically if Doug Funny showed up to court and Roger Klotz was the judge,
Oh my God.
And he'd be like, 50 years in the slammer for you, Funny.
I've actually seen that documentary. Like I know that voice. And then my friend who he's a voice actor here in San Diego, but he showed me this like panel that it's like Twisted Tunes or something. I know it's on a YouTube channel. And so they would read different things in the voices, and oh my God, best time ever. Like it just watching those. So I totally get it. Yeah.
It's with Jim Cummings, and he does the voice of Darkwing Duck, and he had oh, I forget her name. It escapes me right now, but she does the voice of Pebbles, from the Powerpuff Girls,
Yes.
and she has the famous line of I don't know if you ever watch Powerpuff Girls, but Buttercup would always be like, the professor's like, "Where's Bubbles?" She goes, "She's probably upstairs combing her hair, thinking she'll be the prettiest girl at the party." And then like she's like combing her hair at the party. So when yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Oh
the
my God.
prettiest girl at the party. And so they did that on Tuned Inked, and so she did it, and then Jim Cummings had to do it as Pooh, and he's like, "Oh, bother, I'm the prettiest girl at the party with honey."
Oh my God. It's crazy.
And but yeah, she does a lot of those voiceovers, but I think it's hysterical. Shall we do another impression? What would you like to hear?
Flash Gordon, because that's Queen, right?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
All right, you ready?
Hmm.
Flash, savior of the universe. Gordon's alive, live, live, live. Send Morax and Ajax to recover his body. Flash, savior of the universe. He'd fight, he'd fight, he'd fight, he'd save every one of us. His name is Flash.
That's such a good song. Oh my
I
God.
just like when he's like, send Warwick and Ajax to recover his body. But speaking of cartoons, I don't know if you've ever seen X-Men. I don't know if you ever seen the X-Men cartoon
Not
from the
really, but
90s.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So I'm supposed to meet the voice actor who did the voice of Jubilee, and she was also Lydia on the cartoon Beetlejuice.
Oh wow. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So it's hard for me to like not think of that theme song like as soon as I go in the line. La 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 la.
I bet she's like, I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah. It's funny. But what are some of your favorite burlesque performances?
Okay, so I wrote a few answers down, and so I was like, well, do you mean like of mine or
Yes,
like
of yours.
okay, so because I wrote down a few people that I like their performance of for their performances. So I would say Lady Bird, so that's my Lady Bird act. I have because I love flamingos, obviously. We have flamingos all over the house. I have a flamingo onesie. Oh my god, everything. I like that one because it's the one that's gotten me the furthest and performed a
Okay.
lot. And then talking of cartoons, I for some reason growing up, but it's finally occurred to me now that growing up, I liked like making things. Again, this is adult Pinkie thinking this, not
Okay.
child thinking this, but like
Yeah.
making like Disney cartoons like sensual, like the
Mhm.
music. And
Oh yeah.
so, and plus, I really love Jermaine Clement. And so I've always loved like Polynesian, like tropical stuff, hence the stuff around me. And so whenever I hear Shiny from Moana, I just like think of this like sexual being because I know that he based
Oh
that
yeah.
of David Bowie. And so I have a Shiny act where I'm a femme version of Tamatoa. And so I
Okay.
strip down and I'm pretty sure that like, and I'm not claiming like, oh, I'm the only person that has done this song because I know her name is Patsy Climax on the East Coast, has sung the song before, but I don't think I've seen anyone do a Tamatoa
Okay.
burlesque act. I don't want to claim that I'm the first one because that will make people will get mad, and I don't want to claim
Yeah.
anything. I don't want to do that. But yeah, that's my favorite one to perform. And honestly, just anytime that I get to wear my like pink costume and just like improv the stuff too, because I'm much used. Wow, words. I'm very used to like because I grew up dancing, and so
Oh,
improv is
okay.
everything that. Oh yeah, I did tap, jazz, hip hop, ballet, lyrical, African dance, and I started dancing when I was in 4th grade and danced all the way up. And I studied opera in college. I did musical theater all growing up. And it wasn't until the pandemic that my mom actually told me about burlesque because I was looking for a dance studio that wasn't full of like 16 and 18-year-olds and they all look like that. And so she found Flaunt Dance Studio. I'm going to plug the studio now. Flaunt Dance Studio, the studio that I work at now, because there were pictures of all shapes and sizes and ages and colors and fun stuff like that. And so it just led me to do burlesque. But yeah, anyway, because I'm so used to heavily choreographed stuff, it's fun just to kind of let loose and push myself to out of my comfort zone so then I can really practice like engaging with the audience and taking my time and being slow and intentional. So yeah, I would say definitely Lady Bird is more of like the choreographed stuff, but Shiny is a lot more like classic burlesque that it's slow, but I'm silly at the same time. I do a crab walk and people usually after go like that to me and I'm like, yes, that matters. I leave that impression. So yeah. And honestly, not to be cheesy, but anytime I perform is my favorite time to perform, unless I'm sick or tired, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's amazing performances, and I'm glad you've had those experiences. We used to have a burlesque troupe where I lived, but it disintegrated after like COVID. It fell apart. But I will tell you that one time they had like a circus thing, like they had this whole burlesque circus, and I would take photographs and everything. So that's like how I got like into the burlesque, was by doing promoting and going to that event. But so yeah, it had, and when COVID, I started watching virtual streams for I don't know if you know Miss Lady Legs. She does burlesque and chill.
I'm a good friend with Fanny Sinclair. So her and I are good
Okay.
friends. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then so I got the burlesque thing, and I had Jinx, or not Jinx, oh man, Vixen DeVille was on my show,
Oh, okay.
and she asked me what my burlesque character would be. And so I told her Dunkalicious Dan, that's the, and she said that I should come out as a giant donut, you know, and like lose pieces
Yeah,
of the donut, you know.
that would be amazing. That'd be
All
great.
right. Is there any impression? I'll tell you, my last guest was a mermaid
Ooh.
burlesque performer, and I did impressions from the Little Mermaid last Sunday. If you still want to hear that, I don't know.
Do you have any impressions from Hercules?
Yes,
Okay.
I can do that. It's funny because I met Tate Donovan through the virtual chats, and I talked to him. And I also met Meg, Susan Egan.
Oh, love her. Oh my God.
But sure. All right, we'll do Hercules. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. And begin. Thanks for the save there, Wonder Boy. Herc, it's important that you need to train. I don't know what's wrong with Hades. He always seems to be mad with everything that we're seen to be doing. From zero to hero, he was Hercules. Hercules. And this is my son Hercules, and he will have with him Pegasus, who will always be there for you. We're here to cut the last thread of the life of Meg.
I always think of a bouncing baby boy.
Yes, a bouncing baby boy.
Or I know, you know, I know, you know.
So when I met Tate Donovan, I go, I just came the social distance because this was during COVID. And so Susan Egan goes, "You're on your way." I go, "Honey, I gotta listen." So I have them save on my YouTube channel if you ever want to watch that.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I could segue. Sorry, I'm leading this interview. I could segue into my classes because there's a reason why I brought up Hercules, if you'd like.
okay.
Okay, so like I said before, I work at Flaunt Dance Studio. We are the first and only burlesque studio. Sorry, let me rewind that. Cut it, whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. So I work at Flaunt Dance Studio, San Diego's first and only studio dedicated to the art of burlesque. That's a lot to say, but we have so many different classes for different abilities and skill level. And so what I teach beginning burlesque and Broadway burlesque on Wednesdays. Beginning burlesque is essentially what it is. So it's a beginning choreography. So we do a nice like fun, sexy warm up, and then we do across the floor just to help people learn how to walk from side to side. It's crazy how you'd be like, you know how to walk in heels? It's pretty hard. Like teaching how to do a body roll if you've never done a body roll before. The faces people make, and I always say it's going to take time, like with anything, you got to practice. So and so I do that from 7 to 8 p.m. And then Broadway burlesque is, we just called it Broadway burlesque because we tried musical theater class and no one really signed up, which makes sense. You know, you want to have that pizzazz to it. And so I, like I said, I grew up doing musical theater all my life. And so I wanted to teach a little bit more intermediate dance class. And so we have a student showcase coming up on March 22nd at Queen Bee's. And the ticket link is live. So get them while they're hot. And so for my Broadway burlesque class, I'm doing a routine. And I'm making the girls, I'm having the girls be the muses from Hercules.
Oh,
And
there you
so
go.
they're dancing to the gospel truth / the main title and then Zero to Hero. But in the beginning, I'm going to have like the announcer talking. So they'll just be standing there and then they're going to be dancing their hearts off and whatever. They'll feed off and the costumes are going to be beautiful. And it's kind of like Xanadu, but like Disney, but sexy at the same time. So, and they do go down to cage panties and pasties because I was like, I don't care if it's just a musical theater class. It's a burlesque studio. They're shaking their TNA. So, yeah.
I will. I'll tell you what. The last impression I'll do. I'll make it a mystery and see if you can guess which one it is, which Broadway it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Suddenly, Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup. Don't have to pretend. Suddenly, Seymour, with sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend. Nobody ever treated me kindly. That he was sure. I met a man and he shuffled his fingers. Me, I'd say sure.
Little Shop of Horror. Of course, I knew that one. As soon as you started singing that, I was like, "That's all you got?" No. Like,
well,
bring it
I
on.
was gonna be. That's when you go downtown.
Oh, duh, right. When you go downtown.
Down.
Okay. Now I was like, oh, what is that? What's that? But no.
Because we did have musical theater, and the first song that I did was Downtown from musical theater class. I did that, and then I did college,
Okay.
and then I did Rent as a solo,
wow.
And I just met the Broadway actor who originally was Mimi Rodriguez in Rent on the Broadway version.
Aww.
Daphne Rubin. I just met her because she is a voice actor for the popular TV show Hazeman Hotel.
I haven't watched that, but I keep hearing such good things about it. And I've heard a few songs and I'm like, and also the fact that, oh, what's his name? He played Beetlejuice.
Alex Brightman.
Thank you. I was saying, like, shame on me, musical theater person, Alex Brightman. Oh my God, he's so good. Love him.
So she gave me, because she heard I was an artist, so she gave me a character painting of Hazeman Hotel. And so now I'm going to see her in June at the convention again. And I have a standee for her to sign for character. And I met Alex Brightman and I got my pro photo op with him.
Lucky. Not
I
fair.
did. I did. And he's like, because I was dressed as Waldo. He's like, I found you. I go, and I found Beetlejuice. So he's there. But we're going to wrap it up here on Dan-A-Plooza. Is there anything else you want to say, Pinkie Valentine?
No, not really. Besides, I had a good time. Thank you so much for having me. So, yeah.
You're welcome. So everyone keep following Pinkie Valentine, follow her events. And then in June, we're going to have a burlesque panel. If you are interested in that, that'll be a networking thing.
Sure, absolutely.
And then in November, we're going to have a mermaids and pirates panel. So we're going to have that kind of wonderfulness. But we give you kudos for doing our show. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. I'm going to go ahead and download and upload this. And I want to thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was a joy.
Yep. So everyone tune in next week. Dan-A-Plooza will continue with pinup guest Onyx Graves. And we will have also the Gorgeous Girls Valentine's panel with the gorgeous women of horror. So everyone stay tuned for that. See you at Dan-A-Plooza February 12th. Take care and have a good night.